It looks freaking sick. I do gotta make a drive shaft yet. Here's the drive shaft out of there. It's way too long now, so that's a good problem to have because I can always make it shorter. It's a little more difficult to make it longer. So we'll cut my beautiful balanced weld off of there, figure out what we need for length, we'll shorten her up, and we'll get her put back in. I don't want to go through this again, so we're gonna find out now if it's an issue. I took a measurement at ride height. We're also gonna take a measurement now that's completely bottomed out on the suspension, because when I drop this thing down and air it out, I need to make sure that drive shaft isn't gonna go doing the old punk and punch my output shaft through the transmission. So we can't have that. That's a big no-no. There's all kinds of tutorials and information out there how to correctly measure for drive shafts, build drive shafts, send them out to get done. I don't. I measure, I cut, I weld, I put it back in. If it has serious vibration issues, then we'll address it. But I've had a fair amount of luck so far. I think we're doing okay. I mean, I'm sure they're not perfect, but whatever. Basically, what I'm going to do is measure from the flange here all the way to the yoke. Well, not the yoke, it's the output shaft. Try and put this light where it's not blinding the camera. It's only blinding me now, which I guess that's okay. Seal here, but I always assumed it was a seal. It actually might be considered a dust cap, and you're supposed to measure back to the seal itself. Let me bring you in here so you can see. Lighting is prime in here. You can just kind of see that little ridge there. That's the actual seal. Like I said, we just got to make sure the shaft isn't jamming the rear of the tranny, and we'll be good to go. Oh, can I even say that? I don't know. Bottom of the transmission, right against the seal mount. Right to the doohickey. And we're at 44 and 15/16. 44 and 15/16. Better write that down. So I think that's the measurement we need to go off of. At ride height, it's at 46 and 7/8. This distance grows a good 2 inches when the car body goes up and the axle goes down. So that's good to know. It ain't gonna change anything because it has to fit at this space. This distance matters. It has to fit here. So yeah, that's the one we're going for. Let's go cut some stuff. While I don't have a whole bunch of fancy gizmos and tools and, you know, all that cool stuff to make this job really easy, I do have a concrete floor and we're gonna utilize it. That's my high-tech drawing of a drive shaft. Center of the U-joint, here's the flange, easy peasy, let's do it. We'll have to do in a boatload more math, double checking everything, remeasuring everything, really making sure I don't screw this up. I don't have another shaft, so I've got to try and make this one work without screwing it up. This drive shaft is 5/16 of an inch too long. That really grinds my gears. And I know it's too long because I had to take it out to get the car to drop all the way. It was binding up, so it's too long, I know it. If you have the ability to do this correctly, like have a professional do it, go that way maybe, I don't know. But I got this thing level 3 ways to Sunday. So I know at least this end and that end, they're square to each other. So it's good. Check our measurements though. We're about an 1/8 inch short of the goal. I'm okay with that. I can live with an 1/8 inch shortness. I suppose now the tricky part's gonna be, because I suspect when I put a tack on here, she's gonna wanna, this is not ideal. You really wanna make sure your ground cable is all stretched out to reach the welder. You don't wanna get your welder close to where you're welding, no. See, if it's all stretched out this way, you know that current has no restrictions. It can flow pretty freely. We're going for it. Double, triple, quadruple check, still level. Still level. Yeah, I should probably get a helmet. Where's my helmet? You can tell I was well prepared. All right. We're just gonna tack it, rotate it, do all kinds of the same things again, tack it, double check everything. You just, still level. Still level, hell yeah. Hopefully, when I rotate this 180 degrees, it's spot on. Oh, dust, rust. Wonder when my allergies are always on fire. All right, just doing my best to make sure we get this with the least amount of vibrations in the drive line as possible. That's all we're after. We're not after a 200-mile-an-hour drive shaft here, folks. We just want it when we're cruising the hood, it ain't going feeling that vibration more than the stroke box already puts out. See, now we're not level here, but we are level here. So what does that mean? Are we level here? We're not far off. Let me take a measurement here. It looks like we're kicked a little even. While I am 85% confident we got this right, I am gonna go stuff this shaft up in the rear of that tranny and make sure we've got the clearance that we need. 85% is a pretty good odds, but I'm me, so we better check. Get in your hole. Yeah, this is... What is going on here? Get in there. There you are. There you are. Oh, shit. What happened? We are... I don't know. I don't know if we're good or not. It looks really close. Really would have been nice if I hadn't mangled that U-joint up trying to get this all apart earlier, because that would be really convenient right now to have it all together. But no. Let's just go grab the flange and see. It wouldn't surprise me if I measured something wrong. Boy, this might be too close to tell. This might be just too close to tell. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. You know, I was beating on this drive shaft when I was taking it apart, and that's why the U-joint kind of failed. I did get all the needle bearings back in there. I actually found them all. That's kind of impressive. Here's the other cap. It's got them all in there too, so we're doing okay on there. The whole reason the U-joint fell apart in the first place is when I was beating on it, this little spring clip popped out of there and the U-joint started to come apart. Here's what a spring clip looks like. This is one style. There's a couple different styles. And I'm looking all over for it. I can't find it because I don't know exactly when it popped out of there. I can't find it anywhere. I'm looking for other U-joints. Like maybe I got a little baggie left with a couple clips in there because, you know, I keep stupid stuff like that in case I never need them. And, well, I need them and now I can't find them. Here I am, looking everywhere for it, about ready to give up. Figure I'll just duct tape it on there for now, at least test fit the drive shaft to make sure that's A-okay. pull the drive shaft out of the car, we'll just happen to look down, and it's just laying right there. What are the odds? I call that a win. So now we're gonna see if we can't get this put back together with A, without wrecking the U-joint, and B, without wrecking the yoke placement with the tacks on there and breaking one of those, because it's all for a moot point then, you know? We'll have to start all over again. So we're gonna try and see what we can do here, gently. I know there's easy ways to do this. I'm just trying to do it without breaking my tacks. I think we're good, I think we're good. If we come out of this unscathed, I'll be a happy man. Oh yeah, this is gonna be way too big of a one. Yep, that ain't working. Oh yeah, much gooder. Just fits so loose in there. I don't know if I like that. That's probably why it popped out in the first place. Probably should have cleaned that groove out first. We'll make her happen, Captain. No problemo. I am using the official, the ASE certified install technique. A hammer and a socket. 67% of the time, it works every time. So what more could you ask for? Locked and loaded. Could use a little grease. We'll get there. Let's put it in, make sure it fits. That's all we can do at this point. That or cut it all apart and do it all over again. Please fit. Please, 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 please fit. Ow, that hurt. That really hurt. Oh, I think it's gonna work. I can't quite get it right now, but it's gonna work. Let me raise up the car a little bit. If we raise up the car, it's gonna move the axle further away from the transmission. So we should have more clearance, which we do, which we do. Now what we'll do, we won't even bolt the flange on. We're gonna lower the car all the way and make sure we don't bind. Look, I did it. Car is all the way aired out. I don't know how this light's working for you. Not great, it looks like. Car is aired all the way out, and we have clearance there. I think that should work. Why wouldn't that work? If it wasn't for that center nut, I'd get that out of there right now. But we got, oh, a good 1/4 inch or more of clearance there. That way when this thing's at ride height, it'll have the most engagement in that shaft as possible. It's perfect. It's frickin' perfect. Frickin' perfect. I did raise it up to ride height here. We should be golden.
10 seconds later.
All right, I've changed my mind. We're gonna cut it off again. I know I spent a lot of time making sure this is all good and right and everything. Here's what we're dealing with. When the shaft is all the way in at ride height, this is where we are. To me, that's just not enough cushion. I'm worried that if something happens with my rear suspension, she's gonna bottom out and wreck the shaft or wreck the transmission. So we're gonna take it another 1/2 inch, maybe even 3/4 of an inch up. I mean, look how much more room we've got left to work with here. So we got plenty of shaft engagement. I'll measure this up another 1/2 inch from here and see where we are and see how I like that. And I think that's what we'll go with. Figure out what that distance ends up being. We'll take it off of this end and do this whole thing again. It's how you learn. I don't know. Am I annoyed? Absolutely. But I got nobody to be annoyed at but myself. So we're less than 1/4 inch. And that's just not enough. They say you want 3/4 of an inch, so that's what we're gonna go for. That'll give me 3/4 of an inch of end play, I guess you could call it, at ride height. So there should be plenty of movement. And when the suspension drops, I'll still have cushion there at the other end. So if a bag falls out or both bags fall out or something catastrophic happens in the rear and that goes even closer than it's supposed to, we won't have any issues with the transmission or the drive shaft. It'll all stay intact and where it's supposed to be. And this is why I only put 4 tacks on there, because I knew I was probably doing something wrong and I planned ahead for it. So just gonna knock it off, try again. Well, the car is still sitting on air because I never aired it down. Oh, Jesus. There goes that clip again. It just fell out. Son of a... That is annoying. I saw it this time, though, and I found it. Super annoying. What was I saying before we got interrupted? I don't remember. Anyways, so we're in. I got... I don't know, probably a little over an inch and a quarter of yoke showing here. So she's well in there. But as we drop the airbags, let's just see what happens. Hopefully we don't damage anything here. We shouldn't. We're just going down nice and slow. Can you even see in there? Probably not. Let's get some light. There we go. Now you can probably see. Completely aired out, can't get any lower, and we're just right at, if you can see that, this is the dust shield. We're like right there. I mean, I think it's perfect anyways. It's what we're gonna run with. Let's get this thing welded up. I better take care of that clip situation before that's another issue. That's really annoying. Well, we got her welded up. It's not, I mean, it's not super pretty, but she's welded. Is there an equal amount of weld 360 degrees? No, probably not. So it's probably not perfectly balanced, but it's got to be close, I imagine. It's probably not. I don't know. I've never balanced a drive shaft. I wouldn't even know how you do it. I clearly do not have the correct equipment for that, as evidence of this. But she's welded back on. That means we can put her back in the car, and this whole reconstruction process has started. We are on that upswing now. Remember in the beginning of this series, I thought, well, this is a pretty overwhelming project. And now we've already made the drive shaft again, and we can put that in. Now it's basically just flooring and sheet metal. I mean, that's all there's left to do. I figure we should probably throw some grease in this. She's been pretty heated up. I tried to move around as much as I could to not put all the heat all in one area, you know, kind of jump around a little bit. That U-joint's a little stiff. Not sure if that's because of something I did or if that's just the way it is. We're gonna pump some grease into her though, either way. And make sure she's good and lubed up, especially after having to put that one back together. Wow. Oh, she is stiffed up now. That one's better. Oh, this extra grease that didn't actually go into the greaser. Wasteful, Simon, just wasteful, pure waste. It's starting to loosen up for us. We're starting to get a little grease out of everywhere, so that's a good sign probably. Let's put it in the car and just go with it. Yeah, this is an exciting step. This means things are happening that are supposed to be happening. I can even get this drive shaft in with my suspension completely aired out now. I think that's kind of a huge bonus. In the hole, back to the flange. I didn't even lose any of the bolts. No, I'm not gonna just trust that was tight enough. We're gonna use the old manual deal here and the manual impact. And we're just gonna make sure they're nice and snug. We don't need these things working themselves out. Little tech tip for you. This is a 94 Explorer rear end with the factory flange on here. This is a 2002 Ford Excursion with a 7.3 diesel driveshaft flange. The holes line up. You can bolt it onto this. It's perfect. We could technically drive it if we had a fuel tank and an air system. We don't even need an air system, do we? We just need a fuel tank. We can air it up manually. Maybe. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment. And as always, hit that subscribe and like button. Thank you.